Hey, Jim Cam here. I own and run a franchise business model of over 100 locations only in the Montreal area alone. So today topic, I'm going to talk to you about how to actually pick the right location, how to pick a good location for your business. I'll be able to tell you by experience. So I'll talk about the locations that people usually think is good. And then I will give you a few examples of locations that are actually good, but people think they're not good. And I'll tell you why. So when people think of a good locations, they think about high traffic. But what high traffic means, that means the rent is gonna be very high. So think about it. Is it still good? Is it still worth it for the extra traffic, for the amount of extra rent you have to pay? So I will give you an example of high traffic business, but you will see at the end, profit margin might not be as great as the traffic. You will go to a big shopping mall, the main streets. You will think like, hey, those are the greater areas where visibilities is so high. But imagine, for that extra visibilities, does it actually attract the extra customers that you can bring? And not to talk about the profit that you make at the end. People tend to go on the main streets of high busy streets or inside of very busy malls. I'm not saying that is not good, but I'm just saying there's some options that are safer and also you can generate a much healthier profit margin out of it. I'm not saying that those areas are not good, but it's just a little bit more risk. Imagine we talk about the fact that our concept is so efficient in the way of total investment. I also want to talk to you about the return on investment. So if the initial investment is higher, that means the return on investment is going to be longer too. Just think about it. If you go for a 10K location rent per month, that means the initial rent deposit is 30K upfront. But imagine if you only pay 3K per month. That means only 10K of deposit must be upfront. So I'm also trying to help you save depending on your risk tolerance. But there are people that they don't mind. They can't take on that risk because they have more experience. They went through more difficult situations. So this is okay for them. But for any one of you that wants to just start your first business, I have better suggestion for you. You have to remember that the rent deposit comes into the initial investment because you have to think about it this way. If you have limited capital initial investment, you have to know that the rent deposit is also part of the initial investment. So if you go with a 10K rent per month, that means you need to put at least 3 months rent deposit. That's already 30K. So now I'll tell you what are the actual areas, locations that I think that are actually good that people don't think was good. I will suggest locations that has a lot of residential people, also probably offices and school close by. Don't have to be on the main streets. Reason why is we want a place that is accessible for the customers and also for the drivers because we focus on takeout and deliveries. If you have easy parking, that's the best. Because the reason why we want to target residential clients is the returning customers. Those are usually the customers that's gonna be loyal in the long term. But don't forget about the office workers and also schools because there are the people that will come back a little bit more often on the short term. So try to target both. It will be the perfect combination of your clientele. So combining that with a cheaper rent, now you have a very successful business model. So I'll give you a very good example. Just go with my first ever sushi sama. I opened on Bobine Street, not even in the busy area. But the good thing about not being in the busy areas is people will not tend to come and park all over the streets. So it's so easy for my loyal customers to come grab and go, and also for all my drivers to also come pick the orders and deliver to my customers. That's a very good example. And we did it multiple times through locations that we never thought could do good, but turns out to be very great. For those that doesn't know, it's basically a very residential street, but they have the busy side of the streets further, a little bit further away, but we're not in it. Initially, we wanted because we wanted to go in the busy street, but since the rent is too high, for me, it didn't make any sense at all. So just by intuition, I say, hey, let me go a little bit further and focus on creating the demand. And another example is for Poke Station, we open on Jean Talon East Street, where basically it's that area or an area that there's not a lot of big investment in it. But the rent was so affordable and the accessibility, it's so good that it turns out to be one of the greatest location. Then I'll give you another great example of a location that we never thought will be doing so well, but turns out to be the busiest ever of that brand. It's in Laval on Boulevard Saint-Martin. Basically, we wanted to be in, at first, my partners wanted to be in Centropolis because they think it's the best area around in Laval area. I agree, it's good, but not for our concept. I prefer something that is more accessible from the street right off the bat. It also has a lot of parking, and the best part is the rent and that mall that we open inside. It's like an outside mall, a street mall. That basically people will think it's not a mall that are doing good, but it's not about the mall doing good. It's about if your business model can work well in those areas. And so far, we proved that all of our brands are doing very good. And this is exactly the perfect example of a location that far exceeded my expectation. It turns out to be the business of the whole brand. And just after that experience, it just reinforced and improved my business model even more. So another thing to consider is when do you consider that rent is too expensive for the location? Just think of it this way. How I set it up is I believe that a healthy sales range is about 400K to 600K per year. So let's put it at 500K. And we do not want the rent to exceed 8%. So if whatever you think you're going to be exceeding 8%, then don't go for it. This is based on my experiences. 8% of the sales, it's about, let's say, $4,000 per month of rent. Now imagine you found a good location. So what are the terms and also the points that you need to be careful of and also to negotiate for? But this is something that you don't need to be worrying about because we have a team of brokers that work with us that get us the best deal possible and also more advantage for you. So there's a few points that we make sure to be able to negotiate for you guys is free rents during construction times and also some construction work done by the landlord. If not, we can ask for tenant allowance. So to sum up the video, we went through how to pick the right location for you and also the key points you need to make sure to be able to pick the right locations. So the first topic was how to pick hot locations or what you think was not hot, but it turns out to be very hot. Because everything will also depend on your own business experiences and your risk tolerance. The hot more traffic, high rent paying locations are not bad, are good, but only for the people that are more experiences and also have more capital on hand. The reason why is the rent is usually the biggest factor. And also that means that the risk is a little bit higher, but if you have business experience and also capital to back it up, then it's a good location for you. And the second point that you might think was not as hot as the first one, but it's usually a good location as long as you focus on those 3 points. Residential areas, school and offices, and also very accessible parking, traffic for your customers, and delivery drivers. Like Uber Eats, DoorDash, those are the partners that we work with. And the last thing is the reasonable rent. You have to think of the rent as a fixed cost. So all fixed costs that you can save are money directly at your own pocket. And less fixed costs, the less pressure you have on you. As long as you make sure the location is in a residential, has school nearby and also offices nearby, combined with a low rent, then you have a very successful business. Just imagine low rent, consistent returning customers, life is good. So anyway, I hope this video was very helpful for you. So if you have any other topics that you want me to cover, just comment below. And also if you want to jump in right away into one of our hot locations on hand, just click on the link below. See you guys on the next episode.